guys, how you doing? It's Rabea. I hope you're all well. So we've got a good old-fashioned amp video for you today. Probably during the old Pandy, I think it was, the guys at MezzaBarba reached out to me and sent me their M0 Overdrive amplifier, which is an absolute fire breather, awesome hot-rodded kind of just like all the gain and feel kind of amplifier that you could ask for, hand-built in Italy. If you aren't familiar with MezzaBarba, they're an Italian amp brand. Everything's custom shop, custom quality, hand-built. If you ever have a chance to try one, you'll probably agree, if you're in the world of rock, hot-rodded tones, high-gain tones, they're just awesome sounding amps. They feel great. They have really good channels, like the voicings of them, you know, from sparkly cleans to the mid-gain stuff, all the way up to just searing high gain, but not in that kind of modern, kind of fizzy kind of way. I would just say they're just like full-bodied beast high gain amplifiers. So I got the M0 Overdrive a few years back and it's been a mainstay. You can't really see it, but it's over there on the amp stack. I use it in recordings. I've used it over the years and it's just a great amplifier. So I hadn't heard from MezzaBarba for quite a long time, and I got a WhatsApp message recently from one of the guys at MezzaBarba, and he said, I've got this new amplifier, it's the Apocalypse head. Do you want to check it out? So I thought, yeah, I haven't heard from you guys for a long time, love the M0 Overdrive, so I know this is going to be a good sounding amplifier, I'd like to try it. So lo and behold, it sits to my right. This is the MezzaBarba Custom Amplification Apocalypse 100 head. First thing I would mention is that there is a 6L6 100 watt version and then a 200 watt version with KT88s. This is the 6L6 100 watt version. As I said, all handmade, hand built in Italy. They really know how to build an amplifier. That goes without saying. This video is me just checking out this amplifier, dialing in some tones, just having a blast playing through it with my rig. So what can I tell you about this amp? It's 2 channels. Each channel has a boost function. So channel 1 is clean, and then I guess you'd call it crunch, or like one type of overdrive. And then channel 2, gain 2, is overdrive, but both channels have a boost function. So, you know, it goes from clean, then you boost it, becomes like a hot-rodded kind of Marshall tone. And then channel 2 is higher gain, then you boost it, then it goes tighter and just more modern metal kind of thing. So yeah, that's basically it. You've got gain, bass, middle, treble, and volume over each channel. Channel 1 shares the clean and the kind of first overdrive stage. And then you've got your power amp section. You've got switchable master volumes, so you can dial those in how you need. You've got a voice control, resonance, and presence. The voice control is the negative feedback circuit of the amplifier. So basically, if you never tried one of those before, in essence, it just shapes the sound of the power amp. It can be more aggressive, or it can be more sort of held back, so to speak. And that's something that they had on the M0 Overdrive, but they've changed the name of it to voice. I think it was just called feedback on the M0 Overdrive. And what it basically allows you to do is just to get more aggression or more subtleties out of the power amp. It's 100 watts. Nowadays, it's quite hard to find uses for 100 watt amplifiers, especially, you know, on stage nowadays. You don't really need that kind of volume. In the studio, it can be useful, especially if you're, you know, miking up cabs and doing that kind of thing. But obviously, it's an acquired taste now, 100 watt tube heads. But I would say that if you're in the market for a 100 watt tube head, and that's something that you're after, and you like the high gain hot-rodded tones, and you've got a big budget, maybe consider MezzaBarba. It comes with a foot switch, which is set up with a 5-pin DIN cable, in other words, like a MIDI cable. So I've got control over the 2 channels, the masters and the boost as well. But you can also run normal foot switches on the back. I can see there are 3 inputs on the back, which I'll do a close-up of so you can see how it's set up. I've also got my pedal board for some reverb and delay and a couple of different stomps as well. Not necessarily needing any more gain from this amp, I can tell you that, but it most certainly will be fun to mess around with some reverb and delay as well. A couple of caveats, of course. Firstly, take this video with a grain of salt, in the sense that I've mic'd it up with an SM7 into a cabinet with a V30 speaker. It's going to sound a certain way to you guys over YouTube, of course. Depends on how I mic up the cab and dial it in. It may sound very different on other videos with other people that are checking out this amp, or even if you try one yourself, it might sound different. So just wanting to make that clear that, you know, at the end of the day, this is a YouTube video, so it's going to sound a certain way depending on how I do it. So I just wanted to clear that up. And secondly, of course, this is a sponsored video. MezzaBarba very kindly offered to pay me to check out this amplifier. And of course, it goes without saying that I wanted to check out either way. but at the same time, it is a sponsored video. They have sent me this amp to check out and show you guys on my platforms. Okay, now all that's out of the way, let's check out this amplifier. Everything's set to 12 o'clock. It's one of my philosophies that if a guitar amp sounds great at 12 o'clock, it's a well-voiced, well-made amplifier. And that's just my opinion. But everything's set to 12, except for the master volumes, of course, because it's a 100-watt head and I don't want to deafen myself. So yeah, aside from that, everything's at 12 o'clock. This is the clean channel neck pickup. Nice chime to it. Let's boost the gain a touch. I'm going to throw on a bit of reverb and delay and some mild compression. Let's just boost the gain a touch. It's a nice clean channel in the sense that it's very clean, but you can start to boost the gain and get a bit more harmonic content out there. I'm guessing that's because it's sharing the crunch channel, so it's based off, I'm not sure how it's designed inside, but the gain staging when you put the boost in could be engaging like another half of the preamp tube to get that. So it feels to me like it's got that harmonic content in it from having a gain stage in there. So now the gain is pretty high up, but let's check it out. I'm going to mess with the voice control now, messing with that negative feedback, because it's obviously going to change the overall sort of sound, but with a with a sound like this, we should be able to hear what kind of influence it's having over the amp. So I've taken off the reverb and delay, a bit easier to hear what's happening. But this is the voice or the negative feedback all the way down. Now throw it the other way, all the way up. So the clean channel, gain 1, is versatile. You're having that gain pot. I can go for a really clean tone, or I can do what I like to do, which is the kind of push clean thing. That's with the gain on full, you know, back to halfway, it's very much a clean channel. But when you push the gain all the way up, you've just got quite a lot of harmonic content there. Anyway, we're going to push that back down to halfway, and we're going to engage the boost. That's going to transform the sound of this channel quite significantly. So here we go. Let's try it with a little bit of compression. So as expected, this channel, again, when you split the coils down, you can get a nice spanky tone out of the neck pickup, but it's thick and saturated. And this is the gain at halfway. And the EQ is all at 12 o'clock. I did boost the voice control and the tiniest bit of presence and maybe a touch less mid, but it's a really nice. I'm going to boost the gain 3/4. It sounds big in the room. I don't know how I hope it sounds good over YouTube, but in the room, I'm only running this bottom cab and it sounds massive. I'm going to throw on the Horizon Devices Nano Attack. It's on the lowest setting, just for a bit of edge. All right, let's hear that with some reverb and delay. Wow, it's a custom handmade amplifier. It's gonna sound good. I already really love the M0 Overdrive. That's just the first channel with the gain on full with the boost engaged, and it's already the thing about the M0 stuff that I really like is the feel is really good, like the response, the way it feels under the pick, really nice. But we've got tons of mileage out of one channel. So I'm gonna move on to channel 2. Right, Overdrive channel. Everything's at halfway, the gain is at halfway. I'm gonna boost the presence a touch. I'm gonna put the voice back to halfway. Let's first start by scooping a bit of mid, boosting some treble, boosting the gain. Right, let's boost the gain. It's kicking. Let's throw the boost on. So this is without, and this is with. Get a bit more of that aggression out of it. What about if I throw on the Nano Attack now? It's insane. It's a hell of a fun amp to play. I'm gonna call it there. I don't know how long this video has been. I've kind of got carried away with this amp, but that is the MezzaBarba Custom Amplification Apocalypse 100 watt high gain metal amp is what it's called on the website. Yeah, I guess this one is aimed more at the high gain metal thing, but it's really fun to play. Really fun for everything from the push cleans to the thick rock crunches and leads to the high gain like riffage and the lead shreddy stuff. Like, I had a lot of fun with this amplifier. Goes without saying, hand built, sounds fantastic, feels really good. That's one thing I stand by when it comes to any of the amps that I've tried. I guess what I would say is, how useful are 100 watt tube amps these days? I don't think very useful. I mean, it's bloody loud. I've had it at like just under 9 o'clock and it's loud in here. So as much as I love the idea of a hard rock, just balls to the wall, hard rock, high gain tube amp that's cranked, the relevance to them these days is dwindling, if that's the right word. It's getting harder to find justification for cranking a 100 watt tube amp. I would say though, that if you're the kind of person that likes loud amps, 100 watt tube amps or whatever, then this might appeal to you. At the end of the day, it's hand wired, hand built in Italy. It's an expensive amp, right? I think it's like 4,500 euros or something. So it's an investment. But with my opinion of amps like this and like amps like the Soldano SLO or the Rev generator stuff or even any of the other stuff that I've got, like the new hand wired Victory stuff, like these amplifiers are really expensive because they're really well built, hand built. Like, you're paying for that craftsmanship and that quality. You're paying for the time and care and attention it takes to build something like this. And it's worth saying that for a lot of those amplifiers, this one included, like, it's really versatile. If you've got a pedal board and you go from everything from clean through all the way up to searing high gain, they can do it really well. Now it's more a taste of the style of overdrive. The feel of it is really important, but the style of overdrive and the sort of overall voicing of the amp, if that appeals to you, that's where you make the decisions to make that investment, because there's no doubt about it, it's a hefty amount of money. I will say, I love the way these sound. Like, the voicing of them, for me, it harks back to that classic hot rodded 80s plexi kind of, like shred metal tone that I really enjoy. And it's been really fun to turn this up and have a blast with it in the room. And as you could probably tell in this video, I had a lot of fun playing it because it feels really good. And that's a really important thing. So many amps feel different. Like the Soldano SLO feels really spongy. This is somewhere in between. It's kind of like a little bit spongy on the attack of the pick, but then at the same time, it's got a lot of clarity under the note. Whereas the Victory Krakens or even the MK Overdrive, they're a little more in your face attack. So it's like, it really depends on what you like, but I had a great time playing this. I think it sounds fantastic. And I have to say huge thanks to MezzaBarba for sending this over for me to try. I'll link it in the description box if you're interested in checking out in any further detail or any of their other amplifiers. But I'd love to know what you think about the sound of this amp, but also the relevance of 100 watt tube amps these days, how important they are, how useful they are in a professional situation. I think if you're in a big touring band, great. If you're in a studio and you're recording a lot of guitars, great. Outside of that, it's really a case of if you're into that kind of thing, you've got the facility to turn up an amp like this, and you know, if you're a collector or whatever, or you've got the time and space and neighbors that are happy about it. But yeah, absolute beast. Really enjoyed it. So thanks for watching this video. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Links in the description box to all my music, my merch, my band's merch, all that stuff. Please check it out and support us. Like, subscribe and share. I've been Rabea, and I will see you all very soon.